Hello again, boys and girls. Let's do our math lesson for today. So we're on page 529. That's lesson 12.6. We are going to skip this part today. We're going to go right to the inside for the lesson. And I will read that to you. Please follow along with me as I read it. You can use a ruler or a meter stick to measure length. Okay, 1 meter is 100 centimeters long. So again, like an inch to a yard, your ruler, you need, in this case, a little bit more than 3 rulers to measure 1 meter. Okay, 1 meter is 100 centimeters, and usually on a ruler you have 30 centimeters. Okay. The button is about 1 centimeter long. We measured some of those last week. This table is about 1 meter wide. You can also use a measuring tape to measure centimeters and meters. Okay. So, would you measure the length of a house in centimeters or meters? Why? That's in Convince Me. How would you measure the length of a house? Centimeters or meters? Okay, pause it to fill that in and explain why. All right, now on guided practice, we have to match each object with a reasonable estimate of its length. Okay, so about how wide is a paper clip? A truck, a full-size truck, a table, and a crayon. And your choice is to match it up with. You're going to draw lines about 1 centimeter, about 10 centimeters, about 1 meter, about 10 meters. Okay? Now draw your lines to match up each of those. Pause it until you're finished. Okay, now we are going to look at the next page where we are going to be estimating the length. That means making your best guess, an educated guess, not a wild guess, about how many centimeters is an eraser, about how many meters is a window, about how many centimeters is a pen, about how many meters is a desk. All right, so you're going to go through and make your best estimate for each one of those. Okay, so pause while you do that. Then you're going to go through and actually measure it. Use your ruler to measure it in centimeters. If you're using your ruler to measure meters, you have to use the ruler and count up until you're at 100, right? So you do 30. 30 plus 30 is 60. 60 plus 30 is 90. And then you need 10 more centimeters to get 1 meter. Okay, that's how you'll have to do that in order to find a meter. All right, so do that for each one of those. Do the actual measurement and fill in what tool you used. Okay, you probably used your ruler for all of them. Okay. All right, now on the bottom, Tom uses a meter stick to measure the length of a fence. He places the meter stick 5 times on the fence to measure from one end to the other end. How long is the fence? All right, so he's used his meter stick, the full thing, 5 times. Each meter stick is worth 1 meter. So how long is the fence? Okay. Number 10, higher order thinking. Debbie says that her doll is about 30 meters long. Do you think that's a good estimate? Why or why not? Is her doll 30 meters long? Does that make sense? Why or why not? Okay, pause while you're finishing that up, and then we will flip over to the problem solving on the back. Okay, now, on the back, we are skipping number 13. We're going to do the rest of them, but we're skipping number 13. Number 11, choose an object to measure, any object you want. Use metric units. That means that you have to use centimeters or meters to measure this object. Estimate it first, then measure. Okay, just like you usually do. Make your estimate, do your actual measuring. Draw the object and write your estimate and measurement. Was your estimate reasonable? So you have to decide yes or no. Is that reasonable? All right. Pause it while you're finishing that up, and let's look at number 12 when you're ready. For number 12, it says circle the real object that would be about 2 meters long. Which one of those is 2 meters long? A pencil or a couch? All right. Now we're skipping number 13 on to number 14. Choose an appropriate tool. Measure each line. Which lines are at least 6 centimeters long? That means they have to be 6 centimeters or more. Okay. Choose all that apply. So you'll put your X in each box that is 6 centimeters or longer. Okay? All right, guys. Monday's math is all done.